You've written and we've heard you. Today we will be discussing illegal immigration with our special guest, Phil Kent. I'm Julianne Thompson. Welcome to America Rising. Thank you for joining us today on America Rising, the show that brings you the issues important to the conservative movement. I'm Tea Party Patriots State Coordinator for Georgia, Julianne Thompson, and we're coming to you from our studios in Atlanta. Due to your overwhelming emails and comments, today we will be discussing illegal immigration. It's on your mind and on the mind of most Americans these days. And joining me in studio is Phil Kent. He's the national spokesman of Americans for Immigration Control. Phil, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Julianne.
So let's get right to it. I've received many emails asking us to start discussing illegal immigration on the show. It's a hot button topic to most Americans. So why do you think so much of the mainstream media tries to play this as a polarizing issue, considering so many Americans want to see a real crackdown in illegal immigration?
Well, as you know, the mainstream media lives and dies by its readership and by its viewers, and they have to have polarizing, controversial issues, and what better issue than this one of illegal immigration? You know, if hundreds of planes land safely at the Atlanta airport every day, that's not news. But obviously a crash is, and of course the conflict over illegal immigration takes so many areas and facets. We could talk about, as we are, economics, we could talk about national security, we could talk about the impact on our culture, but we also have another factor too, and that is, sad to say, a lot of the mainstream media is politically liberal. And so they are going to be pushing an open borders type philosophy. They are going to be giving a lot of humanitarian, bleeding heart stories on individual cases of people wanting to come into this country illegally and about their life stories. And so this is designed to tug on the heartstrings. We need to get, and I hope we can get in this national debate, more balance, and that is the heavy cost of illegal immigration, that cheap labor is not cheap, and the impact it has on our culture and our way of life.
Well, even though most Americans want strengthened borders and immigration control, they're still not aware of just how serious the problem is. Can you explain for our viewers to what extent illegal immigration has escalated and how it's affecting our economy?
The problem has escalated considerably over the last 25 years over several presidential administrations and Congresses. For example, we've got around 15 million plus illegal immigrants in America, and that's a figure provided by the Center for Immigration Studies. The problem we have is we have so many magnets that draw in the illegal immigrant to this country. And of course, now we have a 10% unemployment rate, where a lot of the illegals are getting good paying jobs and are stealing jobs from our citizens. We, of course, have the problem of cost. Just to take a quick example, our schools in all too many areas are just swamped with students, many of whom do not even know English, and we're having to strain our social services for this influx of third world immigration. The emergency rooms of this country, anyone can tell you, are swamped with illegal immigrants. You know, it's very sad because we've got this wave of people coming in. They make less than $10,000 a year. They have less than an 8th grade education, and they're just basically susceptible to every promise every demagogue gives them. It's a huge political, economic, and social problem that we need to be addressing. And finally, we've got the national security problem. In this age of post-9/11 concern, we've got to know who is here in this country. And we don't have that, and it is a big risk.
Well, that's very true. So let's talk about Georgia for a minute. Here in Georgia, Tea Party Patriots, the Atlanta Tea Party, and about 50 affiliated groups came together to demand that our legislature pass a similar law to that of Arizona, because Georgia is a center for illegal immigration, gang activity, drugs, and the economic strains we discussed. Do you have hope that our legislators will do something in this upcoming session?
You're absolutely right about the illegal immigration problem in Georgia, even though we are not a border state. If you look on the Homeland Security website, it's amazing to see that there are more illegal aliens in the state of Georgia than there are in Arizona. And it is way past time, and I'm glad they're doing it, and thanks to the Tea Party movement, and really frankly to a lot of Democrats, Republicans, and independents who are just sick and tired of the costs associated with this problem. We now see movement on the part of the Georgia General Assembly. I think we'll see action in the 2011 session with regard to the implementation of a Arizona-style law. And I think this could take several facets. First and foremost, of course, is to demagnetize the magnet of jobs that bring illegals here to this state and elsewhere. We can do this by having mandatory the so-called E-Verify program. This is a program whereby employers have to log on to the Homeland Security website and actually check on a new hire or a current employee to see if they actually are here legally. Another facet of this proposed law would be to give an extra tool to our law enforcement agencies so we could actually stop if there's probable cause someone and actually check to see if they are here legally. We check to see if they have their citizenship papers. Again, a great tool for law enforcement, and if these people are here illegally and of course committing criminal acts, we can speed up the processing with the federal authorities, the ICE, the Immigration Control and Enforcement, and deport them. If we can just, again, demagnetize the magnets through this law, the federal government has obviously failed in its responsibility. It's up to state lawmakers to do this. I think Georgia can be a better place, have better quality of life, and we won't have our social services being siphoned off by the illegals.
Very true, and the Atlanta Tea Party has supported 287G and E-Verify, and we've been very involved in that. Well, first, can you tell me how we as Georgians can get more involved, and secondly, how can our viewers in other states get more involved?
Well, I think the best thing to do is to stay informed and to try to find out who your local state senators and state representatives are, and of course, who your congressman is and who your senator is. You know, it's stunning to me, and I know it is to you, Julianne, that half of the people in a congressional district don't even know who their congressman or woman is. That is a sad, sad thing. We've got to fight apathy. That's why I'm glad that the Tea Party movement is out there. I'm glad to see a lot more young people getting involved in the process. I'm glad to see that we've got more and more people getting involved, say, on this issue of illegal immigration, which is very upsetting and, of course, hits us right in the pocketbook. So I always say to people, tell your family, tell your friends what's going on, get active. We talked about an Arizona-type law for the Georgia General Assembly. Make sure you seek out your state senator and your state representative and make sure they're on board with this.
Well, absolutely, and you can learn more about Americans for Immigration Control by visiting their website at immigrationcontrol.com, and you can learn more about our special guest, Phil Kent, by visiting philkent.com. Phil, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Julianne, for your interest.
Well, keep those emails coming in, and remember to check back often at conservativenetworkbroadcasting.com. Remember that you are the heart and soul of the Tea Party movement. I'm Julianne Thompson. Thank you for joining us.